Okay, in this video, I'm going to explain to you the pros and cons of using TypeKit uh, by Adobe CC. Here's the deal. On this page, you'll see two items. The first one is set in Minion Pro, which is typically the default font that comes right out of the box with InDesign. And then underneath it is the same copy that is set in a face that's called Abril Fat Face, which is an Adobe TypeKit font. All right, here's the deal. Um, when you are using Adobe TypeKit fonts, the problem is that they will not package in a job, and they will not travel with the job to the final destination. So let's say, for example, if you were doing this job and you were sending it to a printer, and the printer does not have the latest and greatest version of the Creative Cloud, then the font is going to automatically default to something very generic like Courier. Now, to understand why that's happening is because for many decades, the biggest issue with desktop publishing is that the fact that people they would actually one person would purchase a font and share it with everybody else, and that would eat into profits basically. So now what's happening is uh, it's illegal to do that, and you'll notice that when you actually go through the packaging process, which we're going to do in this video, you'll notice that there's a disclaimer that pops up that basically states that, but there's no way to check that and there's no way to monitor that. So the good folks at Adobe, they figured out, okay, well, what we can do is they have this extension that's called TypeKit, and basically it gives you all of these fonts, a selection of all these fonts, so that you can have and you can create a document with rich font contents. But the bottom line is, if the end user does not have Creative Cloud, it will not show up. So what am I saying? Here's what I'm saying. I am not a fan of TypeKit, and I think that if you're going to use it, you've got to be very, very careful. Um, and I'm going to show you exactly why that is right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to drop down to Package, okay, and then I'm going to say Package. So the first prompt you're going to get is this right here. Just say Continue. Then next up, you're going to get another prompt that's going to ask you, give it a name and put it somewhere. But if you notice here, it says include fonts and links from hidden and non-printed content. And then, of course, copy fonts at the very top. So we'll say package. All right. Here's the disclaimer I was telling you about. Basically, that's a disclaimer that says that it's illegal to transport fonts. So we'll just say okay. Okay. Now it's packaging, and then I'm going to show you what the packaged file looks like when it's fully packaged. So let's say, for example, I'm going to move this down. All right, so you actually can. I'm going to show you what the folder looks like. So here's the package folder right here. All right, the TypeKit folder. I double click on this, and here's our font folder. Open that up, and as you can see, there's no Abril font. All right, because it's not going to travel with the job. So basically, what's going to happen is when somebody opens it up, that is not connected to the cloud or to the Creative Cloud, to the suite, it will not function. So this is how the plus is, wow, you have all of these, these thousands of fonts, but the downside is, the con is that if the end user does not have the Creative Cloud, you will not be able to see or use these fonts. And what you'll have to do is, if you need to send your job to a printer, you'll have to select the actual font itself, or the type itself, all right? And then you'll have to go up to type, and you would have to create outlines. Now at that point, what's happening is this is no longer a font, it's basically artwork. So you can't edit it, you can't do anything with it. So once again, not trying to sound like a broken record, but it's like user beware. There are definitely pros and cons, and personally, I think the cons outweigh the pros.